I'm actually going to turn my camera off for the meditation. Can you hear me all okay? Yeah, okay, grand. I think Mark has just joined us. I'm not sure what he heard, but Mark, if you could please put yourself on mute. We're going to do a meditation. Okay, so sit comfortably wherever you are. If you do have a bad back, it's more important that you are comfortable rather than you are upright. So get comfortable, back straight if you can, feet flat on the floor, shoes off if you want to, hands in your lap, eyes closed if you want to. Three breaths in through your nose, down to the belly, and breathe out through the mouth. And we'll start with the first one. Nice deep breath in through your nose, down to the belly, and out through your mouth. And twice more. Hold it and release out. Place your hands up to your heart center. Surround yourself in a bubble of white light. Call in your spirit guides. Call in those in heaven that love you. Call in your spirit guides. Call in your animal spirit guides. Call in your ancestors. Call in all those that work with you, known and unknown, seen and unseen, of the light, of love. Call in the Pleiadians. Call in Ashtar. Some of you, I know, work with him directly. Call in the positive ETs that you are connected to. Connect to your higher self. Call in your higher self. Surround yourself. Okay. Surround yourself in a bubble of white light. You can extend that out to as far as you want to. Or you can pull it in as close as you want to. Reach up and visualize a ball of light above your head. Reach your arms up, and the space at your fingertips, there's a ball of light. Bring that light down like a coil of white light and bring it in, or a tube, and bring it into your heart center, front and back. And then do the same. Bring that energy into your stomach area, front and back. And then visualize a very large rope around your waist. And at the end of that rope, there is a huge anchor that the other end of the rope is tied to. Huge anchor that is heavy and bulky and weighs a ton. And drop that to the core of the earth, connecting yourself, grounding yourself to the earth. So you are connected to the higher ET energies and to Mother Earth. Visualize or imagine or see lion energy with you. They can be any color or they can be multicolored. There is a male one on your left. These are hugely protective. They are more than earthly lions. There is a male one on your left and a female one on your right. And there are cubs behind you and cubs in front of you. Many of you have a connection to Egypt. I can feel the Pleiadians. I can hear my voice changing and I can feel the Pleiadians coming in and connecting. So hopefully I may just go into a channeling. If I do, I'll put my camera on. Many of you are connected to Egypt. Many of you just put my camera on. Okay, Dennis, I need your help. It says a participant has enabled closed captioning. Who can see this transcript recording on? No? Okay. Okay, sorry about that, guys. There was a little tech issue there. So I'm actually going to try and sit down for this because I can feel the channeling coming on and I just want to go into it. I don't want to mess around. So I'm going to turn my camera off and readjust my setup here and go into the channeling, hopefully. No, that's all. The camera's off, sorry, so, and the audio.
If you're talking, we can't hear you. Just letting you
Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Oh. Huh?
Thank you.
Okay. Hmm. Okay, that's better. Okay, that's better. Can you all hear me okay? Thank you for your patience. Okay, so I'm going to close my eyes and hopefully go into channeling. Can you just pass me a cushion, Dennis? Just chuck me a pillow on the ground. Okay. We are delighted you are here. Some of you have made great progress. Some of you that are here this evening have made great progress. You are all making good progress, but you are all at different levels. And some of you are strides ahead at the forefront. And that is where you are meant to be. And some of you are behind. And that is where you are meant to be. There is no judgment here. There is only divinity and oneness. And a lighter energy that we come in with. Many of you, we spoke about this before recently, and we wish to emphasize the importance of it again this evening, where you have had lifetimes again and again and again and again and again and again and again from as part of your soul journey from one sacred tribe to another, to another, to another, to another. Reincarnation is, your lifetimes are not separate from each other. They are connected. The simplest, easiest, perhaps funniest way we can explain it is that your fingers are not separate from your hand. Your soul's journey is part of each of your lifetimes. And you have had thousands of lifetimes on this earth and above it. You are star travelers or starseeds, as you call yourselves. And you are here with a journey, with a mission, with a purpose. You have been tracked and traced energetically from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. That is part of the Starseeds' mission or journey or progression to move forward, to bring each of those experiences and understandings and learnings and teachings and wisdoms as different aspects of yourself, as part of your soul, as part of the bigger picture. Each lifetime could be represented as an aspect of your soul, which it is. And each one is equally important. Some people will argue that past lifetimes don't matter. And nothing could be further from the truth. As you've had your childhood, as you've had your teenage years, as you've had your early 20s and your 30s and your 40s and your 50s and your 60s and your 70s, however old you may be now, each lifetime could be considered to be a phase of infancy or childhood or adulthood or teenagers. It is stages where you learn to wake up and wake up and wake up and wake up until you each of the lifetimes you have had in the past as a direct link to now. As a direct link to now. You have been preparing for this time now in your past lives for millennia. And each lifetime you have learned things. You have learned trades. You have also learned spiritual understandings and deepenings and wisdom and awakenness. You have been preparing yourselves, and we have been preparing you for this time now on earth, which is of huge significance. Like nothing preceding it. There is nothing that there are always exceptions, but there is nothing more important at this time than now. There is nothing more important at this time than now. You have been preparing for eons for this time. It is time that you gather your tribes, that you connect, that you reach out. Your energies are increasing, your energies are expanding, your abilities are innate. And some of you, Michael, have been preparing, all of you have been preparing. As we said just now, some of you are ahead, at the front line, and that is where you are meant to be. And some of you are behind, and that is where you are meant to be. There is no judgment here. You are exactly where you are meant to be. There are no mistakes, and everything is by design. We created the earth for you. We adapted the earth for human existence so that you could function and live and breathe air and drink water. Everything is perfectly aligned on your earth with the distance of the sun. That is not by accident, that is by design. That the earth is able to withstand human existence. It did not just happen that way. The earth was created. But there is something very special about the earth because it was redesigned or adapted is a better way of putting it. It was adapted to sustain human existence. We wish to talk about some of your abilities at this time because they are increasing. We have spoken of this before, and we will again. Andromeda is very important at this time, as is Orion's belt, as our stars are lining up. As the Earth shifts back onto her natural axis, things are changing in your universe, and it's time to catch up. It's time to step up to the plate. It's time to turn up your dials. Many of you are finding that your dials, we will go into that in a second, but your dials have been turned up automatically. Bringing you to a higher state of consciousness, a higher awareness, a heightened sense of psychic abilities, a higher mysticism, a higher intuitiveness, a higher state of being, a higher awareness of your surroundings and your environment and the space around you and the people around you and the land around you. You are connected to it all. You are connected to the soil. You are connected to the stars. You are connected to the land you walk on. There is nothing you are not connected to. Nothing you are not connected to, okay? Okay, so you are great beings. You came here as starseeds. in order to learn, in order to be game changers, in order to help, assist, and awaken humanity, but you are not from here. Your abilities would highly suggest that. Your dyslexia would suggest that. Your ADHD would suggest that. Your autism would suggest that. Your different children would suggest that. Whatever labels the doctors may wish to give them, they are different children. They have heightened abilities. They have an extra awareness. As we have said, you are not from you are not from here. Each of you came in with unique identities, with unique soul blueprints, with unique missions, with unique journeys, with unique fingerprints. We have said before, your fingerprints are as unique as your missions, as are your abilities, your psychic awareness, your each gifts, whether they are a mystic or an intuitive or a channel or a psychic or a clairvoyant or a clairaudient or a medium or a healer or a shaman or a Reiki master. Each of those, you have assigned yourself a greater ability to be a channel or to be a mystic or to be intuitive or to be a medium. We would recommend that it's time now for you to find out which of those you thrive in, which of those is your unique blueprint, which of those is your unique identity, your unique gifts. Home in on it and allow it to grow and bloom and let it expand, let it shine. It's time now to get down to the crux of, or crux of what it is you're good at. What is your mission? Why are you here? It's time now to make a difference, to shine, to step up to the table. Bring to the table, but bring to your what you are meant to bring. The time we are in is crucial, where you need to step up to this time now. Is this time now? It's time to bring it. Let go of the fear. Let go of the indoctrination. Let go of the matrix. Let go of what Soma calls the box, society's rules, and dumb downness and manipulation. It's time to shake free the shackles, the restrictions, the manipulations. There is so much we wish to share with you, and we will. But as Soma would say, Rome wasn't built in a day. And waking up is a process. And some of you are at the front and some of you are at the back. And that is perfect. That is by design. That is by your own design. All is perfect. All is coming back to harmony, to balance, to realignment of everything. It is not just realignment of the earth. It is realignment of you. It is realignment of humanity. It is realignment of male and female. It is realignment of young and old. It is realignment of light and dark, meaning black and white. It is alignment of all, of positive and negative. And those negatives that are not ready to realign themselves back to source, back to divinity, will burn away or fall to the ground. They will be let go of. They will burn up in the atmosphere because their energy cannot withhold, their energy cannot stand, their energy cannot withstand the higher frequency, which is here, which is oneness and unity and centeredness, and is also to do with your physical nervous system. When you are in alignment, you will have a good physical nervous system, and when you are not, you will not have a good nervous system. Your alignment is directly connected to your nervous system in a very physical way. There are huge changes coming to your earth. We have said before about the reversal of Atlantis, which is connected to now. It is almost a parallel experience. Thank you. The downfall of Atlantis, negative energy, negative ET energy came in and overthrew the earth. It shook the earth to the core. The earth was knocked off its axis. Which also had an effect on your memory systems it was not the only reason that your memories were lost, but it had an effect on it. Because as the earth changed direction, you change direction. You are directly connected to the earth. So what affects the earth affects you, and what affects you affects the earth. You are not separate. You have earth DNA in you. You have tree DNA in you. You have water DNA in you. You are connected to all of the elements. And this is a training ground or a school or a learning planet where you do have free will. You do get to choose. And it may not appear to be that way. Because contrary to that, there are restrictions. You have been dumbed down. You have been manipulated. You have been bullied into a corner where you must take this medicine or else. That is not from God's source. That is from negative beings. As your DNA changes, you are becoming new humans. You are in the midst of ascension. You are moving backwards into a time of Atlantis. And you are not even doing that. You are waking up. Your DNA is physically changing. Physically changing. As we talk about this, and we will again in the future, as we have in the past, your DNA is changing. Many of you will not hear that. You will hear the words, and it will be talking a different language. You will not understand that. Those of you here understand that your DNA is changing on a very physical level. Your skin is changing. Your hair is changing. Your teeth are changing. Your cells, your blood, your bone structure, your organs are changing. You are no longer the humans you were. You are in development. You are becoming new illumined beings. You are becoming crystalline humans. And as you do so, it is like giving birth, or a baby chicken breaking out of its shell, breaking out of the matrix, breaking out of the restrictions, breaking out of your limited DNA that was manipulated and changed and dumbed down and strands taken out in order to enslave you. And contracts were made, and those contracts have now come to an end. Physical contracts were made between the ET races, both good and bad, about ownership of the earth, which is also to do with Atlantis and the parallel you have been here before. You will not be here again. Atlantis, you did not get to evolve. Here, you get to evolve. This is major. And your limited vocabulary that has also been manipulated and changed and words taken out is so limited that we find the words major shift somewhat hugely limited and does not explain the full extent. When we say major shift, let us take that to the extreme. This is a huge shift for humanity, and there is nothing greater in the universe. You have been preparing yourselves lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime for this time now. And we urge you, we know that Soma repeats, but we urge you to step up to the plate, to gather your nuts, gather your chickens, gather your children, gather your food, move out of the cities, move into rural areas, create land. There are times coming because the root of all evil has been shaken to its core. And it is having a temper tantrum. A toddler temper tantrum, where it is like an evil child, because it is losing its power. It is losing its temper tantrum. It is losing ownership of its toys. And you're in that time now where the balance is flipping. The balance is changing. The balance is coming back into alignment as Mother Earth shifts back onto her natural axis. As your DNA raises like a coil that we have spoken of before, DNA can be pictured as or visualized as a coil. And if you pull the coil tight enough and release it, it will spring back to a natural blueprint, its original formation, its original shape. And that is what is happening to your DNA. That is what is happening to you. You are going back to your original blueprint. All of your past lives have been preparing you for now. Major shifts, major changes. Those words do not do justice to anything that you are going through. This is epic times. Your words are so limited. We do struggle. Soma struggles to find the words that have enough impact to explain the times that you are in, and major changes, major shifts does not do it justice at all. These times are epic. They are cosmic. There is galactic alignments in your universe. Stars are being discovered. Planets are being discovered because of this time now, because the Earth and star systems are realigning and readjusting. New discoveries are being made, not just on a daily basis, but on an hourly basis, from technology, from your universe, from your understanding about consciousness. And all of those things are being hidden from you for now by negative agendas that are running your Earth, that have been for so long. Do you understand? We know that we have spoken to you before about this. Even some of you in this group have heard these words before. Our message is simple. You are not from here. You are so much more. You are starseeds. And everything within you right now has been preparing you for right now. You have been preparing yourselves for eons and lifetimes. And you have been warriors. And you have died in battle. And you have won battles. And you have been high priestesses and high priests. And you have walked Egypt. And you have flown with eagles in the etheric realms. And you have laid to rest loved ones that were massacred in tribes. And you have walked all tribes. You have walked Native America. You have walked Egypt. You have walked Iran. You have walked Ireland. You have walked Tibet. You have walked with the likes of Sheba. You have walked with the high priestesses. You have been the high priestesses in Atlantis and Egypt. You have been male and female. Everywhere. You have been everything. There is nothing you cannot attain. There is nothing you cannot do. It is just that you have been so indoctrinated and so dumbed down and so labeled. We come back to the box that Soma talks about. The matrix, the box, the limitations that you place on yourselves, the limitations that have been incarcerated you onto this earth, that you are so limited. You are now breaking free from those shackles. And we cannot do it for you. We cannot make it happen. We cannot increase your pace. Only you can do that. We wish for you to increase your pace and gather momentum and increase your speed and increase your velocity and the rate of which you get to ascend and the rate at which you do ascend in groups, en masse, collectively. You are doing that. Waking up comes in stages because some of you are at the front and some of you are here. You are speaking different languages. So those at the front now are the voices that are being heard at present en masse. Will help to wake up the next group or bring forth the soldiers or the warriors behind you who will then do the same again and again and again. You are waking up in waves and stages consistently. You cannot all wake up at once because as we explained to Soma before, whether you cannot wake up collectively in the same way, parallel, you cannot wake up individually, instantly, because it would cause the body to frazzle and it would create problems in your bodies, in your system. There are, of course, exceptions, as there always are exceptions. But the majority of you, to wake up like that would cause more harm than it would not. It would cause more harm, thank you, it would cause more harm than it would do good. At the time of Atlantis, your connection to star nations was severed. And that is returning. There are more now. We will not say than ever before, because that is not true. But there are more channels now upon your earth than there was previously. Because you are realigning, you are taking back your power, you are reclaiming your divinity, your sovereignty, who you are, why you're here, or where you're from. And we hope for you to increase that. Your psychic abilities are increasing, are physically changing. We wish to prepare you or to increase the velocity, increase your speed at which you can keep up. We know there is healing work to do, and we will speak of this in a minute or two or three. Your abilities. We wish to explain that your abilities, as we have just now, that your abilities are as unique as your missions. Some of you will be good at healing, or some of you will be good at channeling. That is not to say that you cannot do both, because you are well able to do both. You are well able to do all of it, whether it is channeling or healing or shaman or Reiki or tarot card readings. But some of you have abilities to home in on and to excel in certain areas. And we wish for you to speed that up. Although it is contrary, because we also wish to go at your own pace and not to become frazzled, because that will not serve you. Home in on your abilities. Write your books. Reach more people. Spark up that fire in the belly. Move forward. This is also an aspect that is connected to the veil of amnesia that was placed around your earth, that was placed around your auras individually, as well as your earth, and also where your connection to star nations was severed, was disconnected, was put out of alignment, as was, thank you, as was the earth. The pendulum is swinging back to its natural position. Timelines have been changed and shifted and adapted and manipulated and controlled through technology that has actually changed hands now. We wish to repeat that again. Technology has changed hands. For the first time in a very long time, what you would call the white hats, what Soma would call the white hats, are gaining momentum and are more in charge than ever before. There are many periods in your history that all have to do with now. One of them being the Great Fire of Alexandria, where your books were burned. Great teachings, great wisdom. We showed Soma this as a child. Great wisdoms were burned. Great wisdoms were burnt and destroyed with horrendous energy and destruction and chaos. It was a very sad time with mass destruction. Cycles have been repeated in your past lifetimes again and again and again. Not even by you, but by a negative agenda, who have tracked and traced and controlled and manipulated and dumbed you down from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime to lifetime, which could be seen as being each lifetime, thank you, each lifetime could be seen as as evolving, an evolution in each lifetime, where you've evolved because you've learned certain lessons and experiences in each lifetime. Stop waiting for someone else to help you. Take the reins, pick up your pens, pick up your etheric swords, pick up your microphones. Do whatever it is you do best and pick it up and move forward individually. And as you move forward individually with your microphones, with your pens, with your voice, with your flags, with your protests, move forward and take each other's hands and connect. Get your tribes connected. You are it. You are the change. You are here for all of this. There is nothing greater outside of you that is coming to save you. Yes, we are here to assist you and to help you. One of the gifts that Soma is aware of that is picking up pace and momentum in her experience is manifestation. And she is still getting used to that. Whatever your gift is, we know that each of you here, which is why we are saying, pick up your pens, pick up your microphones, write your books, do the protest, whatever it is. Step forward, stop waiting, stop procrastinating. Dennis. Move forward. Take back your power. You are divine beings, the likes of which you have no idea. Even those of you that do, you have no idea yet still of the power that you have. You are gods. You are us. You have huge powers. You have huge healing abilities that you do not yet understand. You are able to manifest. You are able to move mountains. You are able to heal yourselves. You are able to heal each other. You are able to detoxify the earth. You are able to detoxify the air. You are able to detoxify the water, the air, the breath. You are able to control your internal systems and your breath and your air internally. You can adapt your internal heat. The Tibetans are well aware of this. You are miracles, and we designed you in our likeness. You have our DNA. You have our blood. You have our essence. You have our memories. You are us, and we are you. You are powerful beyond imagination, beyond what you are being shown, what you are being told. You have been injected, so to speak, with pills that have dumbed you down, and toxins, and medicines, and poisons, and chemicals, and chemtrails, and all of that. Toxins for a reason. And they will stand and lie to you barefaced. Chemtrails do not exist. Oh, no, they don't. There is no harm from fluoride. There is no harm in the water. No. And we are mocking and making fun and making light of these. There is nothing wrong with the soil. There is nothing wrong with your food. There is no chemtrails. There's nothing to see here. Move along. Do not look this way. Let us distract you and create stories and histories in the news and the media that are a huge distraction. Let us put people into place in Egypt with Soma ARah. Let us put people into place. Let us put people into archaeology. Let us put people into news. Let us put people into military. Let us put people into politics. Let us put politicians. Let us put lawyers. Let us put doctors who will play the negative agenda and distract you from what is really going on. That you are powerful beyond anything that you know. And we are speaking of those that know. There is more than you know. There is more to come. You are in the middle of awakening. You are in the middle of ascension, but you are not there yet. Even those that know do not know how powerful you are, because you can learn by reading, but you do not learn by reading. Excuse Soma. What we meant to say, what she meant to say, you learn by experience, not by reading. That is academia. That is memory. You can memorize when you read. You cannot learn. Learning is true experience, true understanding, through trauma, perhaps. Those of you that are here now are the strongest of the strong. And we have spoken those words before to others, which is why it's known commonly through many channels in your history books. It has been prophesied that you are the strongest of the strongest. And where do you think those words came from? Many of you are channels. Many of you. Even your channeling has progressed into light language. The spiritual fields, the spiritual fields on your earth have been infiltrated. And there are those amongst you who claim to channel, and who most likely do channel and are gifted, but have been infiltrated, have been compromised, is a good word, have been manipulated into a way, into a different arena, into a different energy. You have the keys to wake up. You have the keys within you to access your own divinity. You have the keys within you to transform your water, to transform your soil. You have the keys within you to transform your minds, to heal your bodies. Thank you. There is much more to come in your ascension. 2023 will be a shaky year. It will be a turning point at the end of 2023, where it is done. And what we mean by that, the end of 2023, December 2023. The light will be in control of the dark. The balance will no longer be hanging in the balance as it is now. As some people believe it could go either way at the moment, and it cannot really go either way at the moment. It is only one perception. It is always going to evolve. That is where you are. You didn't get to do it at Atlantis. You get to do it now. The end of 2023 is where things will really start to be noticeably, where the balance has shifted. and you can no longer go back and devolve into the negative agendas having an equal chess game. We wish you to take notes for these dates. December 2023 is going to be an ending of a cycle and a new beginning. And there are many stages of and many cycles in this time now. There have been cycles over the last few years and major changes and major shifts and major movements forward. And December 23 is a major change, a major shift where there is no going back. There is no going back after that time. You can only move forward because the energy will have shifted so much that it cannot, there will be more of you holding the light frequency. You will be the majority. You will be the majority, and the negative powers that be will have hugely lost their control. We think that we have explained that enough for now. Turn your taps on. Clear your water system. Clean your soil. We are not speaking of doing things that are beyond your reach. We are well aware that you have abilities that can clean your water in your own taps, in your own vicinity, in your own environments, in your own areas, on your own land. You have abilities that you have read about, and these are increasing. We cannot emphasize this enough, and we cannot find the words for Soma to express this enough. It is like, we're using humor, but it is like going from dark to light. You are becoming illumined. You are illuminating yourselves. You are finding your wings. You are the caterpillar turning into the butterfly. You are the dragonfly finding its light. You are lighting up. You are becoming illumined beings. And you have never been alone. You are not from here. You are not human. You are hybrids. You are half human. Even those of you that would laugh and silently mock and say, oh, for goodness sake. You have our DNA in your cells, in your blood, in your awareness, in your consciousness. You have our abilities at the tips of your fingerprints. In your fingertips, we should say. You have powers that are beyond anything you could imagine, even those that do know how powerful you are. That's not where you're at. You are much more powerful. That is why the veil of amnesia was placed around your earth at the time of Atlantis. It's hugely important to now. Things are shifting, things are moving forward. You are here for such an epic mission. Such an epic mission. And it's time to stop waiting. It's time to use your voices to reach people. And there's a very good reason for that. Because as you do so, you are helping to wake up the next wave, and the next wave, and the next wave, and the next wave, and the next wave. You are important. You have a mission. You have a voice. You have a healing ability. Imagine if you were to wait and wait and wait until you felt ready. And imagine the lift doors closing. And they just closed. And the time was gone. Time was gone. There is no going back for any of you to yesterday or what was. And we say that with love. We say that. And we are speaking of your individual and your collective. There is no going back to yesterday. There is no going back to the old energy. There is no going back to what was. There is another important aspect that we wish to speak of about trauma. That Carol understands very well. Or Soma. But it's time now to move forward like never before. If you are writing books, sit down and write more books and step into your higher selves or your deeper selves and bring higher wisdom, higher knowledge. You are moving into a new school, into a new level, into a new dimension, into a new earth, into a new frequency. You've not been here before. You've not been here before. This is new earth in creation. And the divine is becoming greater and greater and greater. Many of you starseeds have been born into, and this is important, this is an aspect of ascension. This is the last straw, the last hurdle, the last biggest trauma, collectively and individually, but it's more to do with the collective. And Soma understands this very well. But she doesn't always learn things first time. So she likes to really experience it again and again and again. She is by no means unique. In her trauma. Many of you as starseeds have been born into traumatic families because this trauma has been put in by the negative agenda into starseeds, into those that are the strongest of the strong, into the warriors, into the shaman, into the healers, into the wounded healers, into those who are awake and aware and conscious, into those who are talking about woo-woo, psychic, spiritual stuff, into those who have the powers that are unexplained by normal society. This family trauma is The biggest thing that needs to be healed at this time, and we are not just talking about Carol or Soma, we are talking collectively. This is huge. This will free up traumatized energy, which will allow you to ascend to a higher level. This has been done deliberately. This is a program by negative agenda, by negative energies, by negative ET energies that was very calculated and very organized and planned during this time. Because the negative energies, the negative entities, or the negative agendas that have been running your planets, and we say planets, and that is not a mistake. We say planets that have been running your planets, not just your Earth, but your planets. The negative agendas that have been running your planets have known what was to come, to do with ascension, to do with the shaking off of negative energy. So this negative, this trauma, family trauma that has been put into starseeds that have been labeled as the black sheep, there is much more information to come about this. There is much more awareness and writings that will be written from now over the next 2, 3, 4 years. There is much to come. This is a huge subject. This is where it's at. This is the biggest thing you can do at the moment. This is the problem. Because it will filter, when you can heal this trauma, it will filter down and like rain and clear energy. Like rain and clear energy. We are struggling to emphasize how, or Soma is struggling to find words to emphasize how important this is. And it is not about Soma, it is about the collective. Because there have been thousands of you, and this is coming to light and coming evident, that have been traumatized by pedophilia, which is ugly and evil. Again, your words are limited. But it is coming to light. It is bubbling to the surface. The children that are in the pedophile rings, human trafficking. The prostitution rings, the underground tunnels, the trauma that has been caused upon your planet is huge. There are varying degrees, of course, of trauma within families and abuse, some of it more extreme. But this is designed by the negative agenda, and it is connected to your time now, because it is one of the biggest things that will cause the most harm to your systems, is trauma. And that is designed, that has been designed purposefully with intention for the time you are in now, because it will do the biggest harm. Trauma can do such immense damage. And you have been bombarded with targeting of trauma as starseeds because of this time now by the negative agenda, which is also connected to the pedophilia rings coming to the surface. It is all connected. It is all moving. Clockworks, all moving clockworks, which is also connected to different time periods and histories in your history. It is also connected to the Catholic, hugely connected to the Catholic Church. And the Vatican. Our wish is that you heal this trauma collectively and individually. And if you have not had trauma, those of you here this evening, and send love and light to those that you know that have been traumatized. Stop looking back at what was. Heal your griefs, heal your pain, heal your sorrow, heal your loss. Heal. Heal. Let it go. Do not allow yourselves to be restricted into, we are changing subjects now, but do not allow yourselves to be restricted to movement. That is a tightening of the leash. Take the leash off. Cut it free. Step into your power. Step into your beauty. Step into your natural abilities. You are psychics. You are mediums. You are shamans. You are healers. You have such immense power and magic at your fingertips. And all of those abilities have been put in glass jars, and you've been put in glass jars or cages, and you've had your lids sealed. All of you have the ability. All of you are psychic. You are born psychic. All of you are born with abilities. All of you are channels. All of you are psychic. You all have the ability to be mediums. You all have healing ability. But we would wish, we would hope, we would recommend, we would say, find your unique abilities, your unique missions, why you're here. What unique abilities do I have? And move forward with that. No time to wait. We watch so many of you waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for someone else, whether it's human or ET energy, to come and save you. And we wait watching you silently most of the time, unless you connection is. And then we say, stop waiting, stop waiting, move forward, move forward. We are not concerned with how fast you move forward, although we are contradicting ourselves, because we do not wish for you to frazzle yourselves by trying to move forward too fast, but move forward. Do not stay stuck at the traffic lights. Make a decision. Turn left or turn right, but move forward, move forward, move forward. Slowly if you have to. That's okay. That's more than okay. But move forward. Because if you're on a hill and you don't move forward, you will be going backwards. So move forward. Move forward, move forward, move forward. Pick up your pens. And we are talking to you. We are also talking to Soma. Move forward, forward, move forward. Pick up your pens. Pick up your microphones. Pick up your healing abilities. Pick up your voices and move forward, move forward. And as you move forward, take each other's hands and help your tribe, help your people, help others who are on a similar frequency to you, your tribe, your people. It's time to wake up the other lions. And we have said this before to other people. There is no time to wait. Lion energy is one of the strongest energies that you can work with at this time. It is fierce. It is ferocious. It is the warrior energy that knows balance. Because in one instance, it will be hunting its prey. And in the next second, it will be feeding the cubs. And it will be gentle and loving. It is a master at balance. It is a master at strength. It is a master at courage. It is ferocious. It is unforgiving. It is love. Lion energy will not back down. We look forward to seeing you again. Move forward. Move forward. You do not have anyone pushing you. You have to push yourself, or pull yourself, or motivate yourself. Re-energize yourselves if you need, with physical nutrients and food. Readjust your dietary intake, readjust your nutrition, because you will need to do this. And we are done. Okay, I'm going to go and get some water. I will be back in 2 minutes, so please just bear with me. Oh my gosh. I think moving help. I think moving help. I've actually Yes, that would be great. Yeah. Can you readjust the thing because I need to stand up again. Hello. So if you all would like to take yourselves off unmute or unmute yourselves. And then maybe now would be a good time to go through any questions you have. And if I can answer them, I will. And if you want to put your cameras on, then do. You know. Just going to have a quick read of the chat.
I don't know if it's a question per se. Can you hear me okay?
Okay.
But it's interesting you were talking about planetary alignments earlier, because I was channeling that through earlier today through a message, and about the balance coming in, the feminine, the masculine, a message about some that are very ready to bring about their knowledge and their information. And so perhaps maybe my question would be if there's more information that they may give you around these alignments that are happening. I don't know if it has to do with the retrograde, perhaps, or something else.
Okay.
Maybe just a statement. I mean, I don't know. It just resonates, I guess, because it was coming through me earlier today. It was very similar to what was coming through me today as well. So
I would say it's to do with ascension, and it's to do with energy waves and the frequencies and the energies hitting the earth and the energies coming from within us. We are being upgraded. We are upgrading ourselves. So it's just major shifts, like major shifts. So keep doing what you're doing. Go higher, go deeper with it. Keep channeling, because I know that you channel. I know that you've got a connection to Pleiadians. I know that you channel Pleiadians. You know, I've seen it. I've seen it in you. I see it. I see it in you. I see it in your energy. I see it. It just surrounds you. Keep doing the work, girl. Keep doing the work.
Thank you. Yeah, just opening it back up. I've been I don't know, not complacent, but taking a break. So yeah, there's definitely something about waves, and I was hearing sonar something or other. I have to cut my channel off in a way to be able to listen to you, because they talk to me as you're talking too. I can see them hopping around. But yeah, there's something to the alignment, like in physics though. Besides awakening and besides shifting and lightening up in a way, maybe it's because I channel those things too. Maybe there's some type of information that wants to come through, and like you said, I just need to write it out.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But you're doing great work, and
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest challenges we face is self-doubt, because we are put into school systems to believe the very opposite, to believe that we are, David Icke says, little David, and we're never little David or little John or little Michael or little Chris or little Daniel or little Corey or little Sheena. We're so much more than that. And even, I mean, they said it earlier, even those of us that know that we are much more than that, there is that it doesn't stop there. We are so much more than we even believe that we are. And those of us, and that's talking about the ones that know that we are so much more. There is so much more to come. There's so much more disclosure. And I'm not talking about UFO disclosure. I'm talking about who we are. I'm not talking about UFO disclosure, because that's never going to happen. Not while the negative agenda is running the politicians and the military and all of that stuff. Is not going to happen. The UFO community has been talking about disclosure for so long. We know there's enough proof there, there's enough evidence, there's enough sightings, there's enough videos, there's enough evidence and about the greys and different type of aliens, both positive and negative. We know that we're not alone. Disclosure is not going to happen. It's not while the negative agenda is running the show, because it's part of their agenda, because they are negative ET energy running the show. So why on earth would disclosure ever happen? Sure, we get drip fed little bits here and there, but it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. It was interesting what they said about December 2023. I know I'm veering off your question a little bit, or what you were saying, but I thought that was really interesting. December 23. So keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot that's going to be exposed this year, I feel like. I mean, the truth is coming to light in a big way, I feel like, especially more now than ever, So anyways.
You've got such a beautiful light. And I can see the picture behind you, but what I'm actually seeing is like a huge blue rose. And I'm not sure what the blue rose represents.
Well, I carry a royal ancestry, so maybe the rose plus the siren in me, because I was channeling also the blue ray earlier. Okay. Something about the blue ray, so maybe that's what it has to do with in the Magdalene lines.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, darling, go on.
That's okay. You go ahead.
Did you say earlier that you've got connection to Sirius?
Yeah, I was channeling that earlier. Yes, Siren energy and the blue ray. And then there's the rose energy that comes to me. I relate that to the Magdalene, to the royal side of my ancestry.
Okay.
The Hathors, there's the Venusian. I mean, I've got a lot of different star systems that make my DNA, I guess, many different lifetimes, but specifically today, it was the blue ray and a connection with Sirius. So the blue rose is, I mean, that's interesting. Maybe I should meditate on that and see what comes about.
You've been thinking about teaching or doing meditation courses or getting a group of people together and maybe just doing meditation even, or speaking.
Yes, I mean, ultimately that's what I'm here to do, is teach. I think I know I come in with my own teaching in a way and beyond that isn't from me, but that will channel through me. But yeah, I mean, I'm good at lots of things, so I enjoy a lot of things. But ultimately, teaching is what I'm here to do, you know. I just need to open my mouth, you know, and you know, express, because you know, us light workers you know, it isn't always a safe place to be. You know, per negative agenda, per humanity, you know. But there's a reason why we're unique. There's a reason why. And what I'm hearing is it's a template. So this template, I don't know what that means at the moment, but a template of understanding or a template of knowledge, I'm not sure at the moment, but I got a little sidetracked in what I was saying, but yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, I don't mean to distract the whole room with my one.
It's so good to hear what you're saying and for you to share. I'd really like everyone to share tonight. I know that doesn't always happen, but tonight, maybe people don't want to share, and that's okay. But I just feel that if everyone, you know, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you have to say, you know. So if you don't want to share, that's fine. But if you do, that's fantastic. And what was the other thing I was getting for you? Yeah, do you have any connections to Australia?
Who, me?
Yeah.
It's possible. I've never really thought about Australia, but I have channeled a lot of information over the years in different regions of the earth and beyond. So it's possible. There's a connection to Australia.
Have a look at Uluru. I think it's, excuse me, I'm going to cough. I think it's Uluru. There's another name for it as well. Very strong Pleiadian connection to Uluru.
Okay.
Is it Ezra? Sorry, yeah, Ayers Rock, Uluru is what the natives call it. But have a look at that. Also have a look at Mount Shasta, because there's hot points or hot spots on the earth where there's very high vibrational energy.
Yeah, when you talk about Australia, I see like a Stargate or just this ancient language. I used to live in Mount Shasta, but I've been told I'm supposed to return there and create with whoever I meet. That's the first place I ever witnessed UFOs. It was Mount
Wow.
Shasta.
Wow.
I have a whole experience I have written down, connected to Cirrus, actually. So when they came down the mountain, their light came down, and then there was UFOs coming up out of the mountain. And then I was in telepathic connection with them, and I felt like they were right there. And I just knew I was going to meet them, and I met them the next day. It was a very strange, fascinating experience, you know. It's a long story, I guess, but that was my first real three-dimensional experience with UFOs.
Wow.
So yeah, I was the only one up there that night, and I just felt like howling like a wolf, and so I did. And then I flicked my lights. I was like, "All right, if you're here, I'm ready," you know. And then that's when it happened. And then I don't know that I can explain it all. I'd have to kind of reread my you know, the information I have from it. But anyways. I'm supposed to return to Mount Shasta, but Australia, I am seeing some form of Stargate, and I'm a grid worker too, so maybe there's something I can travel to, at least astrally at the moment, you know. Maybe there's a reason why.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe get in touch with Todd Medina's wife. She lives in Australia, and
Okay.
she has amazing energy, very clean energy, and she does
Mhm.
she's very connected spiritually, and she's in Australia, and I think she does grid work as well. So maybe get in touch with her.
Okay.
Maybe see if you can do an interview with Todd Medina as well, you know, and
Sure.
get your voice heard. There's also Ted Marr, who has a connection to Mount Shasta, and there's also the Stargate. I think they call it the Stargate experience now, with Prajit Harris, who now actually works with Cryon as well. Who he's in Mount Shasta. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly. It's either Prajit or Prajit, who does the Stargate experience. Him and his partner do it now. Yeah.
Okay.
May I ask,
Thank you so much.
may I put a question?
Yes, Chris, but
Can
please
you-
can you
yeah.
let Brioni go first, because she's had her hand up for a while.
Yes, that's
And
right.
then if you want to go next.
Yes, that's completely right.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay? I know I'm driving.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. I am actually in the United States. I currently live in Georgia. I'm moving to North Carolina. I have been a truck driver for almost 19 years, and I was over the road, and I just so happened to come off the road because I know that I'm a healer. I've started, I guess I could say, my practice, or whatever you want to call it, already, and I know what I'm capable of. And so when she was talking about light language, I got so excited because I used to see these things that I used to think, I didn't really know what it was, but I used to see them floating in the air. Nobody else around me could see them. And I thought they were like ghost germs, because I would ask my family at a young age, I would be like, "You don't see that?" And they would be like, "No." So I want to say up until last year, sometime, I found out that it was ancient light codes that I was able to see, and I've been seeing them every day all of my life. And I can take these codes and actually heal people with them. And I've been able to do this, and it actually works. I've actually put them in my body as well. So just for you talking about that, in this, in the channel messages, it just really made me happy. That's really about what I.
Okay. And I'm getting some images for you or messages for you about that. And that is to do with symbols. And it's also to do with past life, where you come in with some remembrance of past life, of that. Let me just change the screen again. So you gallery, where you come in with some remembrance of that, either consciously or unconsciously. It's the memory's there. You just sometimes people just need to connect to their higher self in order to remember more easily their past lives and their unique gifts, their individual gifts. Symbols are hugely important for you. And I'm looking at my own hand here, and I'm seeing that symbols have been given to you and will be given to you. And they do contain healing knowledge. And there's a connection to Egypt there. There's a connection to Sirius. There's a connection to Atlantis, priestess.
I do know that I'm Andromedan and Pleiadian.
Okay. I didn't catch what the first words you said was there.
I was saying I found out that I'm Andromedan and Pleiadian.
Okay. Okay. And I'm also feeling a serious connection. But I think you had a lifetime where you were a very powerful healer in Atlantis. And I think you've carried those codes with you for a very long time. I think they're kind of ingrained in you. I see them in you. I see them in your body, in your heart center, where they just come out in like a musical notes or symbols, where they're just waiting to be expressed from the heart, like a returning to that energy, a re-ignition of that energy, a realignment of that energy, reclaiming your power, reclaiming your voice, because I think your voice in your past lives has really been, and also in your ancestry, which is in our history, there's a lot of slavery is the wrong word, but slavery is not just in your family history, it's also in your past life history, again and again and again and again. I don't know if that helps you, Bryony, but I feel that you should really run with that, run with the light language. If it puts that spark of, if it puts that fire in your belly, run with it and do more of it, step into it, you know. And channeling doesn't have to be in a sacred space. It's wonderful if you can do it, but there's been times when I've done it and I've been in the bathroom having a bath, or in the cinema, or in the supermarket, or in, you know, spaces you wouldn't expect to be channeling. You know, you can do it anyway. It's wonderful if it's in a sacred space, but you can be doing it and driving, you know. And record it.
Yeah, I have to work on my channeling. That's like something major for me. But they just come out like they're just there, even at night. I'm starting to be able to see them at night, like really, really clear now too. So, but I gotta work on channeling. I just actually started on meditation after all these years, so I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. One of the best ways to step into channeling or to step into an altered space is that time between being asleep and awake. That is where it's at. So if you can stay in that space, stay awake as long as you can, or in between being asleep and awake, that's where it's at. That's an altered state.
That's why I hear them call my name or say certain things to me. I call it the in-between world. I don't know the name of it, but I didn't know how to slow my brain down. So I had got some CBD, marijuana, whatever you want to call it, but the CBD kind. And I was freaking out because I was like, I'm trying to go so fast and this is making me slow. So I was freaking out because I didn't want to go that slow. And I was like, okay, so let me just be quiet, sit still, and see what it's trying to do. So then I was able to see, like I see light like no other. I found out that through actually Jesus coming into one of my channeled sessions, that I was a part of God's army. I was actually, one of God's angels. So that's my connection with a lot of the light. And I can see certain things in the light. I can see the codes that go into the lights, even the lights, like the headlights, like any type of light. I'm very, very sensitive to it. Like I can see so much going on. And I'm like, okay. So then other stuff just started happening. It's another time. But I'm just grateful. I was told that I needed to find people that was just like me, and it's hard growing up in a household, and they was talking about that too, being the black sheep or whatever, the black whatever of the family, where people don't get you, they think you're crazy. I know I'm not crazy. We know we weren't crazy growing up. It's just they didn't see what we saw. When the 3 grays came up to me in my grandfather's house in the ceiling, pointing down at me, and I'm a child. I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew that was happening. I wasn't, So, hey, and I keep moving forward. But I'm just grateful to be here and to meet you guys, or whatever. So, gratitude to you all.
I'm so glad you joined. I think you have a very powerful energy. I think you've been a high priestess in Atlantis. I think you've a lifetime in Egypt. I think you've a lifetime in America. Absolutely a lifetime in slavery, a past life in slavery, not just ancestors, but that's in your records. I'm really feeling that with you, and I'm feeling kind of like a stomach in my an energy in my stomach, which normally mirrors the other person. So there's like an anxiety there of, it's kind of like, that anxiety when you go for a job interview. It's that kind of, it's that I'm feeling in your stomach, which I feel is connected to a past life and fear of speaking out, because a lot of us, majority of us were, we were drowned as witches, or we were burned, or we were in slavery, or we were in the Native Americans, because that's been our soul journey for the vast majority of us, whether we label ourselves starseeds or not. We've gone from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime, from sacred people, from the Native Americans, from the Africans, from the Irish, from the Celtic, from the Jewish, to the Maori, to the Aborigines. There's so many, even gypsies, travelers, in Ireland. I would put them in the same category of sacred people. But all of those people have been targeted again and again and again and again. And we were those people again and again. It's all by design, So we carry the trauma of the past lives in our bodies. Sometimes physical markings, sometimes physical conditions. Sometimes we remember as children who we were, as past life. And sometimes we don't remember, but we still carry the trauma or fear of flying, or fear of falling, or fear of being shot, or fear of drowning is a common one. So it's kind of there's a huge story going on here that's not being told, that's not being shared, about humanity's history, and a lot of esoteric knowledge that's deliberately being hidden from us, because then we are powerless. Simple as, really. And that's starting to change now, big time, especially for groups of people that were targeted in the past, including African Americans, including Native Americans, including Aborigines. With the Queen, with I think it was 2 or 3 different places where the Queen was reported to have gone to schools in Canada and America, or Native American schools, and there were children missing. Anyway, I'm kind of veering off subject, but yeah.
I believe that. We're taught a lot about stuff like that, so yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah, and the negative agenda has really set us up against young and old, rich and poor, black and white, brother against brother, you know, and it's so, I mean, it's just done so much damage, you know, and we are healing from it now on a collective, but it's going to take some time to unravel and to heal and to undo what they've done, you know, because it's just, but we're doing it, you know, we're doing the work, we're starting to become more aware, we're starting to channel, we're starting to do light language, we're starting to cleanse, we're starting to use crystals, we're starting to use a numerous amount of things to get back in touch with ourselves and to align ourselves, to realign ourselves, and to connect to the divinity of who we are, and source and God, and it, wow, I'm just gonna pause there.
I am trying everything, doing everything I'm supposed to be doing at this moment. I came off the road where I was making so much money, like every week or whatever, and currently living in my car. But I know that I have a purpose and a path I'm supposed to be living, and I need to be, this year, I need to actually be in North Carolina. So I was like, whatever it takes, and that's what I've been doing. So I am here, I'm moving forward. I know that it will get better. I know I have a great spirit team behind me. Well, not behind me, but within me. And we got it, you know? So that's where I am.
Are you still living in your car?
Yes, ma'am. I'm actually at a storage unit because they keep getting on me about having all these storage units. And I'm about to finish trying to clean one out so I can save money on that unit. But yeah, I am. Okay.
Have you set up a donation page or anything like that, or do you have a PayPal?
I have a PayPal and I have Cash App. I haven't done anything with a donation page or anything. I really haven't told a lot of people, because I have family that's just, they're not good people, you know. So I kind of stay to myself.
Yeah. If you could send me your PayPal link, I will put some posts up on my on my Facebook, and ask for donations, if that is okay with you.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Can I add something really quick?
Mm-hmm.
So, hi, I think Brianna.
Yes, you said it perfectly.
Okay, I'm from North Carolina, so if you need somebody to connect with, I am available.
Okay.
So,
I'm moving to Jacksonville. I have to be near Sneed's Ferry, where the waters meet, because that's where all of my lineage and everything is connected in that area. So I'm sure you know about it.
Well, there's an Atlantis connection, and then I don't know if you know, but Georgia, Atlanta is also an old Atlantean city. So I don't know how close.
That's where I am right now.
Okay.
That's where I am right now. Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. Wow. Yeah. I'm supposed to be near the ocean, so, and they told me that area in Sneed's Ferry is where I need to be. So, and I'll have my healing business and everything there. So I'm just excited.
Yes. So it feels very supported, but I don't want to get into reading on here. But anyways, if you need a connection, I am here. You know.
I'll get your information.
I'm near Raleigh. I'm Greensboro, so I'm middle of the state.
Okay, I
So
got you. I know where that
I'm
is.
a few hours away, I guess. But
I got you.
anyway,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. So see, I need to open my throat chakra big time. So I always, you know, close myself off, but you know, I got a lot to say one day.
Oh,
So
it's coming.
anyway, love and blessings.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Yeah, so thank you. And Bryony, please send me your PayPal. So, and I will do as much as I can to share that out to all my groups and my email list as well, and Facebook.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, darling. And who would like to go next?
I believe, I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Chris.
That's all right. Thank you very much, both of you, the two ladies here, for telling us a very interesting things. I'm also into light language quite a lot, and I noticed that my bedroom is sort of the place where they get through. Sometimes with the help of friends, it could be translated when it is a message into English, but when I'm alone and it suddenly appears, and that's, as you mentioned, Sama, between the awakened state and, you know, falling asleep, it could sort of be like a twitch or a jerk, and I start whatever comes through, but it's some kind of light language, I guess. I just feel it's positive. It's never been anything sort of negative or hostile, what I can understand. And with all respect, you know, as that came through, and it come through earlier as well, through channelings, that we can't take in too much information or involvement directly. That would be too much for our sort of brain and our bodies. But okay, I must admit that very often I can sort of have this eagerness, and I'm not patient enough, because I really want to get sort of the answers to all this, and what it entails. And it goes back 5-6 years since I was in Bosnia. You know, the pyramid of the sun. If you heard about that, that's the biggest, what I know, the biggest pyramid in the world. And it's probably 26,000 years old, which the sort of, it's not correct according to the elite, or the sort of agenda. But there in the tunnels, something happened, and it all started there. So can you in any way, or the ladies, sort of sense what will happen further on if I will develop this or these different languages into something more sort of that you can grasp, or that I can sort of convey to other people?
Okay, well, that's a great question, and maybe someone else has got some other intuitive information as well. But what I'm getting for you is that it's to do with sound, it's to do with frequency, it's an opening of, it's a connection to the airways or the higher frequencies. It's establishment I mean, it's a connection, it's establishing itself.
Okay.
It's the connection is becoming stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
And once you have that connection, you'll never lose it. It can only ever grow and develop and get stronger. And you will become a better channeler, a better light worker, you'll hear better. You'll become your hearing ability will become much better on both a physical level and into other frequencies. So it's like, how do I describe that? It's like you've started reading that book, and it's just now about turning each page and taking in more information and learning and experiencing. That book is never going to close for you. It never has. In all of your past lives, it was there in one ability or another.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but more specifically for you, what I'm getting is sound and color and frequency and light, energy, light language. Just very similar actually to Bryony. But perhaps there's more, it feels like there's more male energy. And maybe that's just simply because you're male, or maybe it's because the beings that you're connecting to are more male. Because with Bryony, I really felt the priestess Atlantean energy with her, really felt that really strongly. But with you, I feel a slightly different energy working with you, where it's more, it's definitely light energy. It's more to do with communication and listening.
Yeah. Yeah. That's seems. Yeah. I mean, I sense that's the correct interpretation. Then it's very. I've been through since last 2 years. I've been not very often, but now and then, together with other people, and as you know, that sort of strengthens the energy when you are a collective. And at one occasion, I actually, what I feel was correct, I can't sort of say that's the case, but that's what I experienced, that I got connected to Mother Earth, and that was a very special and very, in a way, almost sort of sensing her trauma, what we are doing to her. I mean, humankind, how we sort of really are sort of destroying everything around her. And yeah, that was a sort of an extreme experience. But it's something that had really enriched my life in a way, because as we all know, I mean, the planet Earth is a living entity, and she has emotions and she has an intelligence. So that too is very special.
Yeah, I mean, that's another lie that we've been shown, is that that Mother Earth is dead, but it's not alive, and she is. Would anyone else like to add anything to what Chris was saying?
I can add a little bit of a different dimension to that, I guess, when it comes down to your timelines and where you're blocked. I don't know what your relationship was like with your mother, but I feel like there's fear in the way when it comes to channeling, or that overwhelming feeling. I know what you're talking about. When everything comes in, they come in real strong. That's part of why I'm taking a break, because once I get open, I'm going for days and days and days, and it can be very overwhelming. But when you were talking about like that, it feels like there's a touch of fear that's related to either something your mom said, or belief systems. Maybe you're kind of a different kind, but it's fear around that. There's some connection with your mom for some reason. That's just what's coming to me.
Yeah.
So it's as a form of a block.
It's nothing that I can directly say that's correct. You know, it could be sort of subconscious, but it's nothing sort of physical or that you can really point to. But yeah, fear. I'm not sure in what direction that could be, but yeah, it could be something under the surface as well, as you probably picking up. That could be correct.
Yeah, well, take her leave, and
Yeah,
if it's there,
yeah, but it's interesting to so
yeah.
I'm glad that you are mentioning it anyway. But I don't feel any fear when it comes to my experiences. I mean, with the light language, or quite the opposite, because I haven't been through what I can understand anything negative or dangerous, if you can say, just positive things. And we are a group of 4 people meeting occasionally, and when what's coming through me have happened, none has sort of reacted or sensed there's not a good entity, or there's something bad, and we perhaps should get some protection around you. That had never happened. So I sense that this is positive in a way. But it's sort of I can sense a presence every day, and it's very often in the shape of an electrical field around me, especially when I'm sitting down and relaxing. And I can ignore it if it's not the right time. But if I feel that, well, it's okay, whatever comes through, and very often it's sort of quite a strong presence there that are sort of supporting me in a way. And I read something in the book the other day. I don't know whether you heard about this guy. What's his name now? The book is Contact Modalities. And a person there being interviewed said that suddenly, after having some kind of close encounter or connection, this person just sensed that on some level, we all know everything about the universe. I mean, the basic knowledge. And that sounds sort of impossible in a way, but that's, as I said, it's on a plane that it's not tangible. It's not being so close that we can understand parts of it, because it's our brains couldn't cope with that sort of enormous understanding or knowledge. But it's interesting because it's so true, and I really got that sort of, when reading that, we all know on some level everything that is about the universe. Then I really got this reaction to it, and I said, yes, you're right. But perhaps to being on a healthy mental plane, we can't sort of take that into our lives. But just sort of getting this confirmation that we know so much more, and there is so much more to learn, actually, step by step, I guess.
Yeah, so much to learn. And,
Yeah.
and we've got a strong foothold on what's really going on, and we only know half of it. We
Yeah.
only know, you know, maybe not even half.
Mm.
So much more information to come to light.
Yeah.
And not all of it is.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of pedophilia that's come about recently in the last couple of years that's really dark, that's really evil, that goes very deep, that involves the Vatican, involves governments, involves politicians, involves you know, what are they called? The mafia, you know, and some of that we've known for a long time, but you know, it goes so deep, you know, and that's just the negative stuff, you know. Things are always being discovered. There's just so much we don't know. Like it's
and probably in a way, not I don't mean that you shouldn't care, but sometimes I can sort of feel that I can't take in more bad things. So, you know, everyday life, you listen to the news about Ukraine and whatever happens around the world, all this violence. So
I think, and I think what you're saying, Chris, is really important. I think we all reach a level as light workers, all of us here, and other light workers that are, you know, on the same vibe as us. I think we reach a level where we just can't take in any more negative stuff.
No.
We've reached a level where we know what's going on,
exactly.
and we don't need to focus on it anymore.
No,
we need to focus on love and frequency, because that's how we expose and change what's going on. We don't expose and change what's going on by focusing, which I think is kind of programmed into us in a positive way, where we do reach a level where we just say to ourselves, I've had enough of that. I can't watch any more negative stuff. Can't listen to it. Can't take it. I know it's going on, and I know that there's more stuff that I don't know what's going on. But I don't need to focus on that.
No, exactly.
I can't take it.
No, I mean, I can sort of read the headlines, so I'm not sort of outside of what's happening, and that's enough. I don't need to watch the television news. I mean, with all the pictures from bombed houses and what have you, for instance, in Ukraine. I mean, I just feel very, very sad and very, very low. And these emotions won't help me or anybody else. So I try to focus on the positive things instead, you know, what I can sort of bring to people around me.
You're doing great work. I think we all are. All of us here are doing great work.
Yeah.
Even Sheila. I mean, look at her. She's busy. She's busy in the astral.
Yeah, I love that gun.
Thickness.
Chris, I just want to add on to what you were saying, because and a little bit what Soma was saying too, because it gets really into like for a while there, I dove deep into conspiracy theories and all of that. It's a, you know, getting really deep, and it's so depressing, right?
Yeah.
And there's probably this much of everything out there that's actually accurate, that we know is true, and this much we don't know, and the rest is also fictionally created to create stress, right? Fear, anxiety, getting us to go against each other. And what I realized is that all I needed to know is that there's enough there to ask questions, but is to go at the root, right? What is the root of what the people in power are trying to keep us separated from, right? They're trying to keep us separate from ancient wisdom, which all of us are connecting to at some level. You know, our ability to learn from each other, connecting. dismantling systems that are oppressive, like capitalism and so on, right? These are the things, the root of that can dismantle those things, that we don't know everything that's going on. And I don't think we actually need to know everything that's going on. But if we go at the root and target that and say, what are my action pieces? Even if it's a small, little, tiny thing. I don't know what your work is specifically, but I know like my work has been in social justice, working with LGBTQ folk, teaching meditation, whatever. But I know when I at least doing a little bit within my capacity, I know that even though the stresses of the news and everything's overlaying, when I do that piece, then it doesn't feel, at least for me, doesn't feel so overwhelming, right? I feel like I'm a part of that jigsaw puzzle that's creating solutions. So that's my
Yeah.
2 bits.
Yeah, but that's a good approach, actually. So it's sort of stressing the positive sides of life and within the society, instead of sort of just bringing along or sort of taking part. I mean, not physically, but taking part of sort of the news and relating that to other people. I mean, you're spreading the bad news. Of course, in one way, it's good that to inform that this is going on. I mean, not being oblivion, but again, not stressing too much on the negative stuff. So no, I think your reason very good there. You know, it's a good way of looking at it. Definitely.
Yeah. And the other piece I was thinking too, what I do too, is I try to focus on what, if I do watch news, because want to catch up on it once in a while, just keep us on some awareness of what's going on. I am very selective on the type of news. I don't watch any or very little corporate news. Like, it's focused on social justice. Their lens is about lifting people up. They bring in specialties about communities who are experiencing what's going on. So it's coming from their perspective rather than the people at the top, which you're not getting truth anyway. So when you do that, then you're getting a whole different lens. And I find that can be much helpful. And they're also going to show you where people are doing really tremendous work about change. And that can get exciting when you see what other people are doing and you're not seeing all the negative. You're seeing,
that's correct.
Yeah. So this is strategy.
Yeah, there's so much sort of positive things to actually look out for in that sense, you know. So yeah, great, thank you. Is Soma, is she back or?
I'm here.
Yes. I think you were amazing that you had this channeling or, you know, messages for, I guess it was 1.5 hours. I mean, yeah, so I really understand when you mentioned that I need to have a glass of water. No wonder.
Yeah, I have a cold as well, and I've had a really bad back. So
yeah,
but I love channeling. Sometimes it feels like I get on such a high. It feels like I've done drugs when I haven't done anything. It's just the energy makes me high sometimes. So sometimes, often I do have trouble sleeping afterwards. But it's just wonderful. It's such. It's just so beautiful. You know, I love doing it so much. So in that area in my life, I've been very gifted. Not so gifted in other areas, but that is definitely because they keep talking. The last couple of months, they've really explained to me a lot about our unique blueprints and our unique missions and our unique fingerprints and our unique past lives and our unique journeys, and how, yes, I know that we are all unique and we are all individual, but they've really kind of drummed it home to me that we came en masse, not just as psychics and mediums, and not just as channels, and not just as starseeds, but we came in with a very unique. It's so unique. It's to a fine pinprick or needle point. It's the finest uniqueness you could get. You know, even to healers or to, you know, it's just really unique. You know, all of us, we came with unique blueprints and unique missions.
Yeah, that's great.
I'll just pause there.
Yeah. It was meant to be that you heard about Maria from Sweden as well. It was meant that she would accompany me tonight together with you all, but she got the flu. Or what kind of, you know, there's a lot of colds going on. But we are now sort of having the goal of being together with, or in the next transmission, you know, in February. So,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Can't wait to meet her.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
seen her name before.
Yeah.
Before I met you, I saw her name.
Yeah, Maria Werner. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't wait to meet her. I have messaged her a few times.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to meeting her. And I hope she's resting and taking care of herself. And
yeah, she is, yeah.
Is she in the UK, Chris?
No, she's in Sweden.
Okay.
But she really loves going over to the UK. So we'll see what happens this coming summer, because I really want to meet up with friends down in Wiltshire as well, because I got to know a few people down there. Me, myself, and a friend of mine, we went over to the crop circle for 4 or 5 years in a row, actually.
Wow.
And that's one of those occasions when I sort of saw this gray entity up on a hill, you know, overlooking the crops, not the crop circuit then, because it was a night watch, but we were overlooking the fields. And then suddenly this little guy came up, and well, that's another story, but that's among a lot of interesting things that happen in England, actually. So, and I was living a while up in Yorkshire, so it's very familiar, England and all the other parts of the UK.
I spent some time in near the Tor in near Glastonbury, and
yeah,
I had some really lovely experiences there with Jesus, who I met up with as a child. And when I had those experiences in the Tor, I realized that I was shown that he actually had a lifetime. Sorry, during his lifetime, he was actually in Glastonbury, and he was in that area.
Okay.
So it's a very special place.
Yeah, that's correct. How many are we in the group?
There's 9 of us here this evening.
9? Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Mark left. He went to enjoy the sunshine. So
sunshine, yeah. It's dark here, so sunshine, yeah. Well, on the other end of the world. You had, yeah, sorry.
I have a request.
Yeah.
Being that this is my first time, and I think it's Briona's first time, and so getting to know each other is such an important thing, for at least for me.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, for those that we haven't heard from yet, if you're open and willing, if you want to share a little bit about yourself, maybe what you're most connected with, maybe some ET connections, whatever feels right for you, just so that there's this connection that we can make with each person in the group. I know that would be lovely for me. Yeah, so we can go randomly however we feel.
Yeah.
Well said, Corey. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, that's a nice idea. You mean now or you mean next time?
But right now, if we can.
Okay. I just need to.
Actually, my
play.
first time as well here. So today,
Okay.
yes.
Hello there.
Hi, Daniel.
Hello. I'm Daniel. Yeah. So I mean, I found Soma on. I think it was the Telegram group, first, and then through Facebook, and then I went here. So yeah, for me, it's the first time as well. I mean, I'm German, but I'm at the moment I'm in Mexico. So it's quite the opposite to Germany for me. My connection or my soul, I'm quite aware of it because I had some tear resonance with it, is Mintaka and Water Planet and all that stuff. Always had people in my life who couldn't go into water actually because of their skin, or they were afraid of it or couldn't swim. And I'm quite, well, the opposite. I'm always diving and swimming a lot. They couldn't get me out of the water when I was a child. So yeah, and it's quite like, yeah, Caribbean Ocean and stuff. Yeah. Any questions?
What kind of experiences have you had?
Like with basically ET experiences, or
Yeah.
for me it mostly works through dreams. So I basically see them. Well, I have them at least every second or third night. So if I don't dream in 3 days or something, I know, okay, I have to do more work on the outside or more focus there. But otherwise, that's my connection. So I know that I guess I'm watched by the negatives a bit. Like they come at a certain point, tune in, and then you see I see certain eyes or see the scales, and they have let me know, okay, we see you. But also, like, that's not the only negative. I've also had like sort of like to what people would call Indian mythology stuff, but there would be a blue being, but there would also be a green being that would also be more reptilian, but it was all fine. It was all harmonious, so nothing negative going on here. But it was more like a sort of time travel thing at that point, where it was at a certain point, it was a different thing, like pretty much Avatar-like, and then you go back and then you're in the now and there's a market and nobody knows of these things. And yeah, that was quite intense, I would say, yes. When I woke up from that, yeah. So it's mostly happening through that.
And have you ever gone back in time and gone back to gone back in time, gone back in history, or even perhaps gone back to the beginning of time? Have you ever?
I mean, what's coming up now is like a sort of past life regression from a woman who's learning that. So, but she only does it in Spanish. So I said I would like to have it more in English because I understand a bit more. And I'll see what's going to happen there, yeah. But I mean, with the sort of water planet, I'm quite aware of this. It's a bit like Mintaka, the story that the planet was destroyed, and it's a bit like you're homeless, but you always want to stay at home because it was so harmonious and peaceful. And it was like, yeah, okay, I know this somehow. It's a bit like, yeah, that was just the area.
And have you thought about doing interviews and sharing some of your experiences? Because that might help. If you've had that might
yeah,
help.
not so much.
Okay.
Not so much yet. I want to, but I guess I'm a bit like the younger generation. So I think like the older generation is a bit more like coming together, more easily than the younger generation now, because we are quite like in different sort of areas. You're there, and nobody talks with each other, and everybody is like just separate, very, very individualistic and very separated from the other people there. And I think that's a bit difficult. I mean, I've been in England, also in Yorkshire, as you said before. I have been teaching there because I teach languages. So, well, mostly German now. But I was in England, I mean, Germany now, like Mexico, Costa Rica seems to be on the list soon, and I have been already there. So, but I haven't shared so much because I guess Germany is a bit like the opposite of England. England's very open, more spiritual, a lot more energetic, highly energetic, and Germany is a bit more like empathy seems like a foreign word a bit in Germany, a bit like it's very difficult there. So very robotic, very performance oriented culture. And I guess it seems a bit like it's ingrained a bit in the personality. So haven't come so much forth yet.
Yeah. And are you happy living there? Is that the best place for you?
You mean in Mexico now?
Oh, Mexico. Sorry, I thought you were in. Sorry, my mistake.
No, but it seems like a circle now. My mom said it seems a bit like you have to go outward to learn and to bring other stuff back, like more like a more collective culture, like in Mexico and others, to come back, to bring that back to Germany, as that's always something that in Germany is very difficult, like having the collective, regardless if it's family. So the social part lies a bit bare, is not so much intended.
There is a fantastic book. It's just amazing. It's off the scale. And it's called The New Human by Mary Rodwell. It's just fantastic.
I think I've heard that once. Yeah.
It might help you. Help you.
The New Human.
But anyone that hasn't read it, it's a fantastic book. It really explains things to a whole new level for the likes of us. You know, it takes it for the likes of us. It takes it to a whole new level. Yeah,
because I also feel like my purpose is quite like keeping the sort of energy up. Because that is that might be difficult in situations quite a lot, and I think for me it's not that difficult to switch from certain feelings to others. I mean, we all have our things going on or issues, but for me it's like, okay, I don't hang on to negative feelings very long, so no. Like keep the flow running, keep it going.
I think that becomes less and less. You know, it's a process of learning to and I'm no different, you know, but learning to let go of the mind and the thoughts and the negative stuff that comes up, and learning to move forward and let go of that, and move forward and let go of that, and move forward and let go of that. You know, it's a process of
Yes,
it's a process to let go.
Yeah, I feel like when you imagine a river, you always have these areas where things get stuck. So those things and these sort of, like, you might not want to go with something emotional, but because you're stuck, on one hand you like it, but you know it's not beneficial for you, or we have been programmed to stick with that. Then that's so how would you say, destructive in a certain way, and you would yet stick with it, and it tears you down, it crumbles you down slowly. As
So it's all about getting back into alignment and not allowing the negative self-talk to, because we all have that, not allowing the negative self-talk
Yeah.
to take control. So, was there any? Michael has his hand up there.
Yes, thank you. Am I unmuted? Yes. I just
Thank you for sharing, Daniel.
You're welcome.
Really good to hear.
It was a pleasure.
I just wanted to say, Soma, how impressed I was with your channeling this evening. There are a lot of dodgy people about, and I don't really take much notice of them, but you are not one of those. I think you are the genuine article, and I've learned a lot this evening, and I'm eternally grateful to you.
Thank you so much. You know, that really means a lot to me coming from you, because you are a dear friend and you are also a Pleiadian channel.
Yeah.
And one of the things part of my journey to deal with is confidence and self-esteem and all of that stuff. You know, the self-voice, as Daniel was saying just now, the negative self-talk, or oh, I'm not good enough, or, you know, especially with my childhood history that was extreme, because I don't learn things quickly or the first time around. I need to do it again and again and again. So coming from you, Michael, that really does mean a lot. So thank you very much for saying.
Sheila, do you want to share a little bit about yourself?
Hi. Well, I also really learnt a lot from the channeling today. Summer was very nice. Unfortunately, I did drop off a couple of times. I seem to have that weakness. As soon as I sit in front of the screen and I've got my earphones on, I do drop off a bit. So I hope I didn't miss too much, but I have made some notes. So yes, I just found it all very, very meaningful and very helpful for the times that we're in. So I haven't yet got to the stage of channeling, but I feel that that's sort of something that's on the way for me. So I'm very interested to hear about everybody else's experiences, and I look forward to seeing you all next month.
There was, you know, when I've watched you over the last couple of months, the last couple of years, Sheila, and you always seem to fall asleep.
I do.
And I think it's wonderful. I think you are being worked on.
Yes.
When I was for a long time, I think maybe 10 years, I was every week, wherever I lived, because I was always moving around a lot, I would go to the spiritualist church in the UK, wherever I was, whether it was Scotland or London or Devon or wherever it was. And sometimes a lot of the people would fall asleep, and sometimes I fell asleep. But their frequencies were being worked on. They were being worked on.
Yes, I think so.
And I think that's what happens with you. I think that you're kind of, I think they're guiding you into a deep sleep where they can work on you.
Yes.
When the mind is not in play, the mind is not thinking anything, because it's
mind is a bit too active, isn't it? They need to calm it down, because my mind is possibly going a bit too much. Oh, you've gone quiet, Sam.
Yeah, no, I'm here. Yeah, I think so. But I do, because why else would you fall asleep? You know.
Yes, you're right. Yes. Yeah, but I suppose I think, as other people have said, sometimes you can be a bit alone in your way of thinking within a kind of family environment, because the other people in my family aren't really thinking along the same. I don't quite know what I'm saying here. I think I'm still struggling a bit, because the people around me don't think the same way, the people in my family. So yes, I sometimes go to the spiritualist church, and then I listen to quite a lot of things on the internet. So when I get into that environment where I'm listening to people who are speaking truth, then I invariably drop off. So I have to think, oh, they're working on me, they're working on me.
Yeah. So what I'm seeing is that your family, I mean, what I know is that your family are speaking a different language to you. What
Yes.
what I'm feeling, what I'm also seeing is that you need to find your tribe, people that resonate with you. What I'm feeling is, or what I'm getting is that you're, I don't know if you can see me, let me put my camera on, is that your energy, when you're asleep, they're kind of putting a, sometimes they do make me sleep as well, but they're bringing you into a sleep state so they can work on your frequency so that you can raise your frequency to be with your tribe, so that you're not pulled back by your family or by people that don't get you, people that don't understand you, so that they can raise your frequency so that you're more over here, so that you can find your tribe. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't
Yes,
know
that makes sense. Yes.
It was very well, but like you can meet your family where they're at. You can meet your family where they're at with communication, but you can't meet them where they're not. They're not over here with you on frequency.
No.
They're not. And they may probably most likely never will be, because the jump is too high for them. It's too high. So you need to meet them where they're at, on their level.
Yes.
So, but you need both going on. You need to meet your family at their level, but you also, for your joy, for your bliss, for your happiness, for your involvement, for your spark, for your breath, you need to find your people as well. And I know that all of us here are your people. I know that. But
yes,
it might be good if you could have meet more people like you, meet more of your tribe, get more in. There's a book in you, Sheila. I know there is. I think connection is very important to you. Very important. Perhaps more than it is to me or other people. But I think connection is very strong for you, and I think you need it.
Connection with what or whom?
With people around you, like people around you, people in people around you, whether it's at a distance or people in your energy.
Yes. I have got that book you were talking about.
Okay.
The New Human. I did start reading it, but I found it was quite heavy going, actually. I probably need to go back and start it. Have you read it?
I did. Yeah, I read it a few years ago now.
Right. I was reading about it. The bit that I was interested in, they were talking about. I think the lady was talking about people who are sort of have something like Asperger's, or apparently these are very gifted people in terms of humanity, because they're not burdened so much with emotions and things as much as we are. So that was the part I was particularly reading. But I think
yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, in your situation, yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, that there is, all those conditions are including. There's another one. I forget what it's called, but all those kind of conditions that have come about over the last
couple of generations. Yes.
Yeah, they are all kind of a wave of children that have come in that have extra abilities, extra qualities. They're not normal kids. No. And in the sense because they've got Asperger's. I mean that in the sense because they are more aware than normal children, you know. Like people, you know, even dyslexia or ADHD or Asperger's or
Yes.
there's another word for it, another word I can't think of.
I seem to know quite a few people who've got people in their family who've got one of these situations, and it brings a lot of challenges into their lives, into the lives of all the other members of the family. So something that I'm quite interested in, and you know, I'm interested to see how people cope with that situation, because the person who has the condition isn't necessarily aware of how it affects everybody else. But anyway, I perhaps ought not to deviate onto that, perhaps going off the subject a little bit, but I did find that was quite interesting in that book, and I'm going to go back to The New Human and get it off the bookshelf and start reading it again. Thank you.
Thanks, Sheila.
Thank you.
Bryony put a message that it's autism, and that's not the word, the condition I'm thinking of. It's another one that I can't. That's on the tip of my tongue. It's when you're kind of hyperactive.
ADHD.
No, it's not that condition. It's another one where you're racing at 100 miles an hour all the time and you can't control your thoughts.
Yes.
Michael, have you got it? No. I can't think of it. But anyway, all those kinds of conditions are, you know, more or less the same thing. They're kids that are coming from somewhere else in the universe that are finding it very difficult to adjust and adapt to being here because they are different. You know, and the Pleiadians have spoke about that a few times with different groups of children that are not from here, but and that's not really what they meant. You know, they were talking about new children still to come that are being born into certain relationships where that is very new. You know, new children being born like now. You know, that are just you know, there's waves of waking up, and there's waves of evolution, and there's waves of new humans coming in, and those children are very much going to be part of the new human, because they're going to be so different, you know, from our ancestors, and not so different from us, but so different from our ancestors. Anyway, I'm just going to pause there because Daniel has his hand up.
Yes, because I have actually a question which happened more recently to me, and it was, I don't know, I've read about it as it's clairvoyance, because I have a certain, sometimes it's a sound that's coming in either left or right, doesn't matter how intense, and I've read that that's the higher self wants to connect with me, giving me a ring, sort of, okay, I want to talk to you, call me back when you sleep or something. And then there was always a sort of dream. Can you sort of confirm it, or do you have experience with these sort of noise in the ear when that's coming in?
I do, Daniel. It's a great question. Bipolar is the one I was thinking of. I always see bipolar as being a very spiritual thing, actually. I don't see it in the way a doctor would see it. But with the ringing, with the sound, with the frequency, it's often can be misdiagnosed as tinnitus, which it's not. In my understanding, it's not tinnitus. Sorry. The majority of the time. So with the frequency, when I start to channel, I normally hear, I don't always hear it, but normally I hear like a whirring or a whirling. that gets sometimes it will get very loud, sometimes it just is there. So that's sometimes when I know the Pleiadians are around. But it could be Pleiadian energy, it could be spirits, it could be archangels. It's a different frequency coming in. Excuse my voice. It's a different frequency connecting with you that you can visit with them, audibly hear, that is connecting with you, that is wanting them to know you're around. Whether it's Pleiadians or angels or spirit or loved ones or your guides, it's a different frequency coming in that you're aware of. So ask who it is. You know, for me, it's often the Pleiadians.
Thank you.
May I say something about that just real quick? So on my journey and what I've been going through lately with that, I've been having to ask each spirit guide to come in and show me how like their energy or however they want to come towards me each time. And when I tell you the Pleiadians, oh my God, it is like the ringing is so powerful. It completely like takes over everything else. It drowns everything else out. It's beautiful. And the feeling that you feel like in your heart chakra at the same time is just so beautiful. But that's what I've been encountering from them lately while they work on me as I sleep, because I have different I don't know if I should say souls or I don't know the correct word to say, but I have like ancestors, the Andromedans and Pleiadians working on me at night, every night when I go to bed. So I can tell once they come in, or if I'm really, really still, I'll start hearing them. Like it'll start off in my left ear ringing really, really loudly. Sometime it'll go to both, but it just depends on how still I am at the moment.
I'm here, Brownie. I think that is amazing. I think for you to have those experiences, you must have a very, very strong connection to Pleiadian energy. Where do you want to go with it?
Say that one more time.
Where I think if you're having those experiences, which I've no doubt you are, it would seem to me that you have a very strong connection to Pleiadian energy. And where do you want to take that? Where do you want to go with it? Take it forward. Don't be one of those people that reaches, because there's a lot of mediums in the UK, a lot of mediums that, and a lot of psychics as well, that reach a certain level and they're comfortable there, and that's perfectly fine. Where do you want to go with your experiences, with your Pleiadian connection? Where do you want to take that? Because there is no limit to what you can do with them.
I want to go as high as possible.
Fantastic.
I mean, I dream about this stuff every day. Like, you know, I to be honest with you guys, from the beginning, my crown chakra is just spinning right now. From the beginning, I knew it was something more to life, because everything that was coming into my world, I would say, I just kept mastering it so fast. And I was like, I know it's more to life. So I started, you know, this is when I was religious and I thought, you know, all of that stuff. And I was like, I know it's more to life than this. What am I missing? And then after I got a little bit angry asking that question, everything started to unfold. So I'm excited to be on the right side now. And there's no limit. So I can't say sky's the limit. There's no limit to where I'm going.
Something they shared with me is that the sky is not the limit. The sky is not the limit. You can go much higher than that. You can reach other star systems. You can reach the Pleiadians. You can connect with the Pleiadians. The sky is not the limit. The matrix is teaches us that the sky is the limit, and it's not. You are amazing, all of you, and you have amazing abilities. Take it up. Take it to the next level.
Has anybody ever been to the place where they have all the skies in one big sky? Like, have you astral traveled there? Because I have, and it was so beautiful. And every time I ask someone that, they say no, but it was so, so beautiful.
I haven't, but I think if you're having those experiences, rather than trying to find other people who've had those experiences to share your experience, turn it around, flip it around, find other people who've had those experiences so that you can help them understand their experience. You're here for a reason. Your experiences are for a reason. It's like our experiences are also unique, whether they are traumatic or whether they are spiritual experiences. In having those experiences and sharing those experiences, whether it's trauma or whether it's a spirit or whether it's spiritual experience. Sorry.
I have no clue how I leave my body like that, but I found myself actually getting ready to leave it. And then I'll lay back down and I don't know what I'm doing. I found myself a few times coming back into my body, and I'm like, okay, but it was fun each time. The stuff that I can't remember, and then the stuff I couldn't remember, I started sleeping with water under my pillow, and I'll pray, just talk to the water and ask it to help me remember my dreams and or whatever I'm going through while I'm supposed to be sleeping, and it actually works.
I can share a little bit about traveling. I think I missed a little bit of the first piece. But before I started my journey, I guess I've always kind of been awake, unawake. There's been different, I guess, timelines that things have happened. But I used to go out of body and travel galaxies, and then I'd slam back into my body thinking I was dying. And I would pray, but really I was being taken home, wherever home was. So, I mean, that's about all I can share. I don't remember much, but I just remember spiraling through galaxies, and then the noise. I was going so fast. I remember the noise. It was like a train. It sounded like a train. And then I'd slam back in my body in fear that I was dying. So I don't know how that relates. I missed half of what you said because I got up, but is that what you were talking about, was traveling through like astral travels?
Yes, actual leaving out of your body and coming back in. And the first time I noticed me leaving out of my body, that's when I was introduced to my Andromedan guide, which I call her my grandmother. And but yeah, she showed me like a diamond or something, and I tried it 2 times, and I was trying to get out of my body, literally. On the 3rd try, I got out of my body. I tried to turn around and look back, but I don't remember what happened from there. So I don't know how I'm doing it, but I'm doing it often.
Yeah, from my experience, there's nothing I've ever tried to do. And it's very difficult for me to meditate because I tend to travel. And so for me to do a mindfulness stillness meditation is very difficult because I go straight out, or I go one place or another place, or I'd get downloads of past lives, and it'd be like a movie screen and everything was flashing before my eyes, or memories kind of awakening, but it's nothing I've ever tried to do, so I couldn't tell anybody how to do it. So I don't know, I guess it sounds like it's happening to you that way too. They're just taking you.
Yes, sorry, I was trying to press the button. It got stuck. Yes,
That's
all
okay.
the time. All the time. And I don't want to take over this conversation. I just want to say one last thing. I also kind of got in trouble by my spirit team because I was going into, they said another, I guess a future lifetime or something. It was something about it that I liked, and I kept going into it. So they had to stop me from doing that as well. But I don't do it anymore after they got all.
Yeah, sometimes like for whatever reason,
So I don't know how
I'm
I'm doing it.
thinking of how they'll come adjust your frequency. They've done that to me a couple times, It's like I had headphones on one time and they were just adjusting in my dreams. I don't know, there's something to that. I think that you're probably having like what's her name here? Sheila. She's going off, and they're working on her, you're going places, at the same time. I'm sure, but I think it's something that, like Soma said, is something that you have to understand for yourself. I can't really explain it very well, to each unique individual experience to their own, and their own understanding. But yeah, I've had a similar experience or experiences. So go ahead.
You still talking, sir?
Hello, hello. This is Soma, back to you. Had a transformation, got out clear. Soma's here. Carol, she's just resting her voice. So, wonderful. I've been in on this call, and it's been delightful. My name is Dennis Mulcahy. I'm Irish. I'm a mystic and a healer. I can connect to many past lives and past galaxies. And what's most important to me is connecting to heart and I am presence. So there, I share that with someone inviting earlier people to say a wee bit. So it's my wee bit. All right.
Thanks, Dennis.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I thought I would share, if everyone's okay, a little bit about me.
Please do.
So yeah, I guess which pieces, what parts do we want to share? Because there's so many aspects of oneself. So I've had, I guess, connected to a few guides, and I've also done some regression work with my past lives. I've had awareness of a little bit clips, I guess you could call it, prior to that, and then through past life regressive work have been able to go deeper into those, understand some of the context and what was going on, and through also because I've also been taught tantra through the Tibetan Buddhist lineage, so also being able to use some of those techniques like feeding your demons to go back and heal some of my past life stuff. Obviously lots more is like only getting at the surface, but it's such an amazing thing that I just naturally was able to go into. Also having some deep connections in terms of ETs, like I'm connected with mantis beings, have a hybrid daughter out there. On this ship, there was lots of grays where I was able to connect, which was just a amazing, bizarre, and wonderful experience all at the same time. And I've had the mantis beings visit me on a few occasions, very ethereal. And so that's been kind of my connections on that level. A lot of my work has been working with the LGBTQ community in terms of facilitation, support work, counseling, and also merging, teaching folks how to meditate, mindfulness. And as I was telling Soma, my passion is merging social justice and spirituality together, and raising people's consciousness and doing the shadow work for us to heal and unify and all of those kind of things. So I could say more, but that's pretty much me in a little nutshell. So yeah, I'm open to questions or if people have thoughts or whatever.
Yeah, thank you for sharing some of the magic. Great. Where are you based, Corey?
Yeah, I'm based in Canada, Victoria, BC. So
Okay.
on a big island right outside of
Very good. I've got a big Labrador down here looking for my attention. Anyway, that's great.
I have to look that up actually when that is. So it's Victoria in Canada, right? So British Columbia.
So it's a
Corey,
good
you're
idea.
muted.
Yes, it's a good idea for people to, Soma mentioned it, connect with Soul Tribe. And if the Soul Tribe seems a bit thin or a bit scattered, there are plenty of opportunities to strengthen it. There are a lot of very positive groups that can be found in Facebook. One group of many that I am a member of is connectingconsciousness.org, which is a spiritual organization founded by Simon Parks. He's kind of flavor of the month. Some go, no, I don't like him, but I think he's got a truly powerful international tribe of spiritually aware people, completely, separate to him and whatever. Simon himself is an interesting character who's got a soul which is part human, reptilian, and mantis. But that's not too much to do with anything. Here's this organization which is there to just a community of people. It's international, and it will have groups or divisions in every country. But the message there is find your people, and I'm sure this video will be shared, and you'll have an opportunity to say hello to people and ask questions, and you're very welcome to do that. Yeah. So I think we're going to be finishing up soon. So it has been wonderful. If I had a chance to talk to Soma's guides, I'd tell them to kind of summarize a little bit, but it still was very powerful. Okay, I'll see if Soma's available. We're going to wrap it up. So you have a chance to say anything you wish or do anything you wish.
Hi, sorry about that. I lost my voice. I couldn't speak. So Dennis was saying we're going to wrap it up. So thank you all so much. And
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you all so much, and look forward to seeing you next month.
Yeah,
Good meeting you all. Thank
Much
you.
love.
Okay, bye-bye.
Lots of
Bye.
love.
Have a
Be
nice
well.
evening and day.
And I
Bye.
will, one more thing before you go. If you want a recording of this, I might put it up on YouTube. I will definitely put it up on Rumble. But if you want a recording of this, send me your email to my email or my Facebook. Send me a message letting me know. So my email is thepleiadianchild@hotmail.com. Website is the same, thepleiadianchild.com. Facebook is Soma ARah. So if you'd like a recording, just message me, and I'll see you all next month. Go shine. Just go shine.
Thank you. Bye.
Love you
Bye.
guys. Bye.
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 Till next time.
Yeah.